Ghana leaders have proven to the world that they are capable to stand and protect motherland Ghana, guys. Let's take a look at this video where President John Dramani Mahama proved the world wrong about leadership in Africa. Let's get right into it, and definitely I will be back because of course I have something to say at the end of this video. Let's watch.
When ECOWAS declared the state of emergency, this is what President John Dramani Mahama said. He said, Ghana is not immune to coup d'etat. And so that is why this government is doing its best to make sure that we regain the trust of the people. That's number one. He acknowledged that Ghana is not immune to coup d'etat. So he is tackling the things that result in the coup d'etat. Number one, the people losing trust in the government, in the politicians. One, by being accountable ourselves. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is telling ECOWAS that lack of accountability is making the military to take over the country. It is lack of accountability from the politicians and the people losing trust in the politicians. These are some of the reasons why we are having the coup d'etat. So let's move forward. One, by being accountable ourselves, and two, by holding persons who have held office and abused the public trust to account. These three key things that the president listed out here are the reason why there is, coup d'etat and coup attempt in the West African region, because the people lose trust, the politicians are not being accountable, and they are covering each other. When these governments come, they will come and loot the state and go back. The second one will come and then protect them. Nobody will be jailed. That is why the coup d'etat is happening. The message of the president here is the solution to the problem of ECOWAS. If ECOWAS should declare state of emergency at all, ECOWAS should declare state of emergency about looting, corruption, lack of accountability, and to declare state of emergency against anything that can make the people lose trust in the government. They should proceed from here and declare state of emergency against insecurity, especially in Nigeria also. Because if you are declaring a state of emergency that you want to tackle the coup this thing and you are not able to solve these problems, you can't do nothing. ECOWAS, that is the truth. If you are not able to regain the trust of the people, holding persons who have held offices and abused public trust to account, making sure that you get rid of corruption, these things will continue to go on in West Africa, because these are the reason why the coup is happening. Why are they not even declaring state of emergency against the insecurity in Nigeria? So the ECOWAS community, they are afraid of coup d'etat than people being kidnapped in Nigeria. ECOWAS, you declare state of emergency because of coup d'etat, meaning that you are afraid of coup d'etat more than the people being kidnapped in Nigeria. Churches being burned, communities being burnt, communities being unalive, children being unalive, and women being, taken to captive and whatever they will do to them. You are more concerned about military coup than saving the life of your people in ECOWAS. Under military leadership, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, they were facing what ECOWAS member, the Oboro, Nigeria, is facing right now. It took the military to come and restore order. Still, they are still continuing fighting to protect the life of their people, even more than the ECOWAS community. Nigeria, you should declare state of emergency against what is happening in Nigeria. The energy you are using to fix coup d'etat, use that energy to save the life of your people in Nigeria. Misplaced priority. Where they are supposed to channel the energy, no. They'll turn and channel the energy towards different things. No. So ECOWAS, you need to advise yourself and listen to this man, because since the time he came to power, he has been talking about the issue of democracy and coup d'etat. Why democracy is unstable. But it looks like ECOWAS want to use Takashi gidi rather. You should listen to wisdom and face this. I give you 20 years, you will not have coup d'etat. Consistently, we can be consistent on democracy without you having coup d'etat, if you can face these things that the president of Ghana is talking about here.
You see, this debate, this was a long-yeared debate. I think there is South Africa, there is Ghana, there is Nigeria, There is some other country, I think it's Kenya or Uganda, right? Then Ghana was answering the Gold Coast.
All these ideas through the mixture of Western ideas. Actually, we couldn't develop on our own. Until we got British help. And since we got the help, we have been able to do everything ourselves. If you go down to South Africa and help the Africans with your ideas, getting free mixture of ideas, everything will be okay.
Now, here's something. The white guy represented South Africa, right? The white guy represented South Africa. But you know, the problem, when you listen to the statement by the Ghanaian, in fact, this interview happened a long time ago, and it's unfortunate that there were no Nigerians that saw this interview that was able to see the secret in this debate. Sorry, not an interview, in this debate. Now, what did I see in this debate? It's very magnificent. It's it's shocking how I hadn't existed when this debate happened. But I'm very much able to see the secret in this debate, which, if I had existed when this debate occurred, a lot of things happening in Nigeria wouldn't have happened in Nigeria. But by the special grace of God, it's not so late. I am here now. Nigeria is going to be great, right? It's inevitable. I am here now. Now listen, there was something Ghana said, the Ghanaian guy. He said, that's why I love Ghanaians. They're very truthful. Very, very truthful. He said that Ghana knew that they are unable to do certain things concerning development and civilization. This is the first thing you ought to do to yourself when you want a change. What? You embrace the truth. You speak the truth to yourself. He said Ghana knows they are on their own unable to bring that so desired development and civilization that they need. Unlike Nigerians, I will continue giving you the impression, the false impression, before the white man came, we were developed, we were civilized. But they are ones who make use of the white man's development the most. Do you know that the iPhone is most patronized in Nigeria, especially the Igbos who lie to themselves? I've never seen a race in this life that are hypocritical. I've never seen a hypocritical race in this life than the Igbo race. They are ones that will be telling you, the white man came to deal with us, but they are ones using the innovation of the white man the most. In fact, they make those speeches using the white man's innovation. The white man does not have you at heart. The white man does not take gang. It was our forefathers. Tell me anything your forefathers initiated that you're using. Tell me one of the inventions of your forefathers, your so-called forefathers, that you're using. Capsule hypocrites. Someone will come out and be talking hocus pocus. It's a disheartening thing at the lengths at which you people are hypocritical and play the double standards. I'm pretty sure the truth is that Ghanaians have been able to see you people for what you are. South Africans have been able to see you people for who you are. Deluded sets of hypocrites. They'll be shouting, hey, and then when they come out, they give the impression that they are looking out for Africa, and then they want to use these distraction tactics in making other Africans think the problem is not them who are Nigerians, but that's the problem are Westerners. The problem is the Westerner. And then when you listen to them and think the problem are Westerners, they use that idea, they use that time with their ulterior motive to destroy you. That's why I keep on telling you people, do not let Nigerians give you the impression that your enemies are the Westerners or the white man. Your problems are the same black African people with you. Especially, in fact, let's get it straight. The problem of the world are Nigerians. The problem in Africa, in South Africa, in Nigeria, in Kenya, in Uganda, in the UK, in the US are Nigerians. Even the black Americans who are problematic are Nigerians. They are Nigerians. When you look at their genealogy, you see they are Nigerians. These people are crafted to be a problem wherever they go to. That's why the country is a shamble. Even the problem in Nigeria are Igbos. I'm telling you. That's the truth. I ain't gonna lie. I'm an Igbo man, so pick it when I tell you that. I'm a freaking Igbo man. This Ghanaian spoke the truth about the situation. He said the white man came. They invited the white man and he taught them development. And now they can develop things on their own. But look at what South Africans did. They didn't say we're coming for them to teach us development. That is the genius in South Africa. They didn't say we are coming for them. We're calling them to come and teach us this. We're calling them to come and teach us that. No. You don't come to teach. You don't come to teach. Don't go anywhere. We are going to become one with you. Because you see, when it comes to teaching you things, like the Undertaker told King, he said, I taught you everything you know, but I did not teach you everything I know. So how do I become everything you know as a person that is teaching me? By becoming one with you. That is the South African methodology, and that is the secret behind the unionization with the colonial masters. And now let's look at it. Who's better than South Africa now? Nobody. South Africa is even Europe now.
Code of conduct yet. Don't have a heart attack when you receive your copy. Ministers of State, Deputy Ministers, Members of the Council of State, Presidential Staffers, Head of Agencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. In my 120-day social contract with the people of Ghana, I pledged to restore discipline, integrity, and accountability into our governance. Today, we're taking an important step towards fulfilling that promise with the official launch of the Code of Conduct for Political Appointees. This code represents a bold declaration of the standards we must uphold as servants of the public.
Now what you saw there is the president of Ghana, and I intentionally had to cut the clip from the beginning because I want to experiment something actually. I want to know whether he's going to beginning to lose sense, once you cut the clip. A situation where you probably don't understand what he's saying anymore if you cut the clip. I want to understand whether there is at any point where it begins to lose meaning or where it begins to look irrational or senseless if you cut the clip, because I really don't understand something. I will show you people. We've seen this video I'm about to show you right now. I really don't understand it, but I've been experimenting. I've experimented with I've listened to the South African president, I've listened to the Ghanaian president, and I want to really, so I decided to play this for you guys, and now we can all see that wherever you cut it from, His Excellency Dramani makes sense. Wherever you cut it from, it makes sense. But let's watch this. Let's watch this and know.
We are a poor nation. The bad code we follow. They say firewood not smoke. They say we need to plant more trees. And they are not giving us money. We need to open our eyes, shine it, and tell the West. If you don't guarantee our finances and work with us to stop this, we are not going to comply with your climate change. You're doing. God have mercy upon us. God, why? God, why? I've been trying to understand what happened here. The previous video I actually made, I didn't try to decipher what happened there. First of all, hold on. This man is talking as if he does not realize he's the president of a nation. And he's talking about his nation in such a way, as if he's actually reporting to some other person that is more superior than he is concerning the affairs of his nation. I want to get what am I going to call now? He said, if they don't work with us in their finances or in our finances. Hold on. I need to get to the root of. Hello? Oh, sorry. Okay. Hello? Kyle? Yeah, good morning from Nigeria. Please, I'm sorry I'm taking a little bit of your time. I just want to ask you a little bit of a question. Since you're very close to someone you can inquire of this, please. So I heard the video of the Nigerian president, and he said something about the West, and that if the West does not cooperate with their finances, that's exactly. No, he's not an imbecile. He's not an imbecile. Dude, that's my president you're calling that. I'm not laughing. He's not. No, guy. No, be very serious. He's not an imbecile. That's not imbecile. So I was wondering whether that video was edited as an AI, whether it's an AI or whether it's actually. Wait, no, okay, hold on. He said something like not working with the Westerners climate. The climate change. Well, what concerns Nigeria and the West when it comes to Sorry. My president is not an imbecile. Stop it. No, stop it. The president of Nigeria. I'll see, please, if you can relay that message. Please, what concerns the West and Nigeria when it comes to we're not going to work with their climate. I don't get it. Like climate change, I don't get what you mean by climate change. Oh God, oh Jesus. When the people are told to be selfless, when the people are told to make people with integrity, dignity, academic and honor feel important rather than people with the money. They won't understand. They won't understand. Now look at it. They are calling our president an imbecile. Oh my God. I cannot understand that clip. I cannot understand that clip. There is no way you can put it that would make me understand the clip. I've been trying to gather that clip from the beginning, but I think that clip did enough for one to truly understand. Yet, I heard something like, if the Westerners don't cooperate with our finances, is it their finances or our finances? Do we need permission from the West for our finances, or is it that the West gives us their finance? Then, I don't understand the part of climate change. Climate change.